All right, ladies and gentlemen, fellow wine lovers, welcome back to Nerdvine. I just finished yet another cup of coffee, so this is going to be great. Today we are exploring a grape that, honestly is having such an existential crisis it doesn't even know its name. I'm half kidding. As promised, today we're discussing Pinot Grigio and sometimes, and we will address the sometimes confusing Pinot Gris. So there are actually three Pinots. We have Pinot Noir, Pinot Grigio, and Pinot Blanc. So here, Noir, Grigio, Blanc. I thought this picture was super cool. Basically, Pinot Noir is genetically unstable, so it undergoes transmutation, producing whiter or lighter grapes. And Pinot Grigio is just like this alternate personality that subsequently takes on a whole new persona because it's, entirely different. That's a confusing explanation. Let's unravel this dysfunctional family mystery a little. And let's talk about Pinot Grigio versus Pinot Gris. So basically, they're twins separated at birth that grew up in totally different corners of the world. So Pinot Gris, French roots, tends to be richer, a little more opulent. That might be dramatic, but it's more complex and typically has a little more body to it. Think dry to off-dry, maybe even medium. And we're going to see a more medium acidity. And I know I keep promising a winemaking video, and we will discuss the why of the medium acidity if I remember. For Pinot Gris, we're also looking at the warmer climate fruits like bananas, stone fruits, maybe even mango. On the other hand, Pinot Grigio, the Italian counterpart, embraces a lively and vibrant side. So usually harvested early, not too early. It's just that the winemakers who have been doing this for a really long time harvest it early to showcase the crisp acidity. Felt too soon for me to say racy acidity again. And this also lets it have the lighter body. We're thinking cool fruits like apple, lemon, maybe even a little lemon zest, and then possibly some minerality. So same grape, distinct personalities. Transmutation, separation at birth. If this isn't a villain origin story, someone really needs to write a novel about Pinot Gris. Side note, we've also accepted that the two names, they're so widely accepted that they don't necessarily denote the origin anymore. So Pinot Grigio isn't confined to Italy's borders. It's even produced in France and vice versa. You can have Pinot Gris coming out of Italy. It's a globe trotter. It's made its mark in Alsace, Oregon, Australia. I think Moldova even makes Pinot Gris. And because each region brings their own unique twist, whatever the wine is called, Gris or Grigio, is often a nod to the style, not to the origins. So I'll try to be specific with what I'm talking about for the rest of the video. I might interchange them once in a while. Sometimes I might say PG, because I'm weird and a little bit lazy. So, thinking back to our food video, what do we do with a high acid lighter body wine? If you said seafood, have another drink. If you didn't, have another drink anyway. Pinot Grigio should also go nicely with crisper salads, so maybe sprinkle some salt on cucumber, toss it with Kalamata olives and feta. If you haven't done this, now's your chance. And even lighter sauced pasta dishes. Maybe even pesto, actually. I think the herbal qualities would be nice. I need to try that. Pinot Gris won't offer quite the same cutting acid zing because it has those riper fruits, but that means that with the sitting heavier on the palate means you could try it with a little bit of spicier foods. Now I really want to order from our local Indian place. Also, while the Somm movie talked extensively about Riesling, I kind of mentioned that in the last video, the Master Somms who ran my intro course talked a lot about Pinot Grigio, particularly as a wine that can be easily paired with itself. So if you think about lemonade in the States, it could be called limonata or citronade depending on where you are, but I'm specifically thinking of the still version, not the carbonated bubbly version. We've got this crisp, citrus, refreshing liquid, and the thing you usually want after a really good lemonade is more lemonade. And that's kind of Pinot Grigio's role in the wine world. So if your friends are all cracking light beers and IPAs after work, pop a Pinot Grigio and see how you like that. Another awesome thing about pairing PG with itself is that it's not usually very expensive. The most common style is the result of a high yield of grapes, which is just a fancy technical way to say that they grew a lot of them that year. So if you think about supply and demand, it kind of makes sense that it's a very affordable wine. There's lots of it. This also means, however, these wines are meant to drink pretty young. So if you find a PG, usually a Gris, not a Grigio, that's a little bit pricier and from one of the warmer regions, moderate but warm, this might mean it's actually an ageable one. So get two, because you're going to want one immediately, and then let the other one age, because I have yet to try an aged PG, but I really, really want to try one, because typically the flavors that develop will express as like honey and or ginger, and oh my god, that sounds incredible. Speaking of what I do or do not have, today we are drinking this Cin Cin. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Normally, as you may have noticed, in addition to cool labels, which I guess this is, I also try to find winemakers that are on the sustainability bandwagon or supporting equity in some way or doing other cool and socially responsible things. I don't have any information on this winemaker. If you've browsed wine stores, you may have seen Albino Armani makes like 5 different PGs, and I've had a couple of them. The cheap yellow and white label one opens up really nicely with Brie, if you have that one. But I didn't have any of those. So this is somehow the only PG I have. And admittedly, my whites aren't as organized as my reds. I'm going to stop making excuses. The point is, this is what I have, so this is what I'm drinking. It also runs under $10. Also, someone gave it to me, so free is a great price point. I did find one little interesting information I wanted to share with you. That's not a thing. It says, produced in Italy and bottled at origin by Nocio SPA Mezzocorona. I probably pronounced that wrong. I looked that up, and that's actually kind of a cool thing. Nocio SPA and Mezzocorona is responsible for the marketing of nearly 50 million bottles of wine and sparkling wine. To do so, the subsidiary of the Mezzocorona Group has tied together blah, blah, blah. Sees to it that wines from Trentino make it to the shelves in 60 countries of the world. The marketing wines from Mezzocorona Group is just one of the pillars, which also deals with bottle and marketing. Basically, it sounds like this group helps little vineyards. Italy is full of little teeny tiny vineyards that may not be able to make it into the global market. So it sounds like this group is working on that, which I do think is really cool. I just don't know anything about the actual winemaker, but whatever, let's drink. So we're gonna do this a pour. There's cat hair in my glass, so if you can see that, it's my life. Oh, I don't want to pour that heavy. Yikes. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. This actually looks like it has, I hope this is good. I didn't smell the cork. I was practicing opening when I did it. This actually looks like it has a tiny bit of haziness or gas. I can't. Okay, I'm hoping my glass is just dirty, but that could be an interesting feature to look for in the future. I do need to learn more about them. Okay, it smells. I just need more time to open up. No, it smells fine. Just losing my mind. The coffee. It does have like a tiny bit of zing, not the acidity, although that is making my mouth water. It does have a little bit of like a fermented, if you've ever had strawberries that aren't, maybe you shouldn't be having, and it like tingles a little. It's got a little bit of that tingle. So I think maybe I was right. Oh. It definitely has a tingle. It's light. My mouth is watering. I do get lemon. I get minerality. Maybe I'm overly sensitive to minerality. I feel like I get minerality a lot. Yeah, I just want to pair this with more of itself, which is probably good because I don't think we're eating anything that goes with this tonight. So, cheers. Do me a favor, like and subscribe. I have to ask. And go drink more wine, and I'll see you next time.